Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and you might be like, girl, where are you? I'm in my living room because, ooh y'all, does anybody have a Mac and the Mac recently updated and your computer has just been doing the madness? That's been happening to me. So I can't film the way I typically do with my other camera, so I had to come to the podcast studio and film these videos from here. So I mean, you guys are getting a taste of what I do on the reality recap. If you're not subscribed over there, please do. Please do. If you are one of those people who's like, dang, Queen E be going on vacations so much, we don't even get content from her for maybe like a week or two, you will always get an episode every Tuesday without fail on that page. And it is available on all streaming platforms. If you are a podcast person, you just want to listen, you can listen to the reality recap on every platform available. So yeah, if you want a little bit more of me, go subscribe over there. But today, we're going to talk about the Never Ever Mets. We are on season 2, episode 8. We didn't get an episode last week, but we are back, baby. And the mess is continuing. So before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So I had to remember that Tati and, what's that man's name? Yeah, I even forgot. It sounds like Casamigos, Clavassier, have decided to leave. And if you haven't seen like Tati talking on the internet, she's basically said that, you know, it is very embarrassing to watch things back because clearly a lot was being done behind her back that she wished she was privy to knowing at the time. She now has an estranged relationship with damn near everybody from the cast, and I don't blame her at all. A lot of those people were playing in her face, not just Clay, but thankfully they have ended things, and so she is off doing her own thing. Now, since they are gone, the rest of the house is hypothesizing which couple will be next, and they're thinking it'll probably be Ty and Brittany. But if you ask Ty and Brittany, they seem to be locked in.
I know, we know who's next.
Oh, we know?
You know, no, wait.
We're still hanging in there. Given everything that we've been through, feeling very excited for me and Brittany.
I had a good time with Ty. Sometimes I feel like more of like friends.
You love his personality, but you're not attracted to him.
Ty says that after the date that they had, he feels more secure in their relationship. And I'm like, that date where you couldn't even get a proper sensual kiss from the girl? Don't get me wrong. Some people don't like, you know, a little makeout session. You know, some people, you know, some of y'all not wired like that, okay? But you mean to tell me after all this time, y'all are still doing little pecks here and there. Y'all are not even entertaining the idea of, you know, getting a little bit frisky. You don't even have to go all the way, but like even just a little love tap on the booty. She was like, no, thank you. Bruh. So then you ask Brittany, and Brittany is like, oh yeah, no, I had a great time on the date. A great time? You had a great girl. Quit lying. So then she's like, yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like we're more so like friends, and I really like his personality. That's not enough. They've been in this house for how long? You still only see him as a friend? It's time to hang it up. On paper, he might be the guy that she's looking for, but in reality, that attraction is just not there for her, and she needs to accept that. Jared told her point blank, sure, his personality is great, but if you're not attracted to him, then what are we doing here? Truly, what are we doing here? After all these weeks, you don't see romantic potential? Girl, move on. Speaking of Jared, he decides it's finally time to let Charlie in on the fact that he doesn't plan on being with her long term.
I was the one that put F no. I had just gotten the news of your extended family. I told myself that I'm here, might as well enjoy myself. I had a whole new different outlook on us.
I didn't know you put no. At this point, I'm very, very angry.
Calling her 3 secret children her extended family is hilarious. That is her immediate family, baby. That is not her extended family. But I understand, you know, he thought she was only going to deal with 1 kid and it expanded to 3 more. So understood. But extended family just sent me. Those are her immediate children, sir. Her immediate children. But anyways, he's basically like, listen, I'm the one who said F no. I really don't want to pursue things. And she's feeling embarrassed because she let him smash, but baby, he wanted to smash and dash. That was his plan the whole time. I don't believe this whole thing of the kids being the deal breaker. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when everybody was saying, oh, Brandon was fetishizing Kiki, I wasn't really seeing it. I can get why you guys went there It's just my mind didn't immediately go there. But with Jared and Charlie, especially after he was like, oh, she's my zebra or something like that, I said, okay, yeah, be so for real. So I believe that he always planned on smashing and dashing. I don't believe this story that learning about the 3 extra kids is the reason why, you know, he doesn't want to pursue things anymore, that the kids are a deal breaker for him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So then I'm wondering, why is this girl continuing to engage in conversation with him? Because I would have been up and out immediately. But then she's like, yeah, this is why I didn't want to open up about the kids, because I knew it would ruin our relationship. So you thought being silent about 3 living human beings was going to nullify their existence? Baby, they're still alive. They're still your kids. And whether or not you want to acknowledge them, you look grimy as hell, pretending as if you only got 1 kid and one of them extra kids was born several weeks ago. Be so for real. Be so for real, Charlie. And Charlie's going to... And you know, 2 wrongs don't make a right. There are things that Jared could have done to make things better. However, Charlie is wrong from the beginning to the end of this relationship. From the beginning to the end. And she's going to make it seem like the things that Jared did, you know, kind of pale in comparison because she has been honest and he hasn't been. Girl, no. From the time that you decided it was not pertinent information to share that you had 3 other children, and even if you didn't have that extra child, you're lying about 2 of your living offspring. You're actually diabolical. Truly. So then Charlie has a conversation with Brittany after the fact, and she's like, if a man who loves me, which, girl, that man did not love you. If he loved you, he would have built a foundation of honesty from the beginning. Okay. She's like, if a man who truly loves me isn't going to be able to deal with this, then what man will? And let's be honest, it's not a whole bunch of people who are knocking down your door to want to raise 4 kids that aren't theirs. Let's just be honest about that. I do think that if you approach a situation with honesty, there are people out there who are like, you know what? I understand a blended family. Maybe I never wanted to have kids of my own, but I have no problem being a stepdad. Like, that ain't no problem with me. There are people out there who are like that. There are people who are willing to adopt your kids over time. Like, who knows? But you have to have known that having 4 children with multiple fathers is not going to be the most desirable situation to walk into. And I feel like at some point, Charlie, you're going to have to accept responsibility. I don't think that those children were immaculate. You know, it wasn't a miraculous thing. You're not Mary. It was an active decision. So you got to deal with what comes with that. Chris and Alexis decide to book a session with Dr. Ali because Alexis's aggression, her control, is still an issue in their relationship.
Sometimes I feel like she can be kind of controlled and a little bit more aggressive. I pay attention to signs because I've seen control on every level. 9th grade, I had my own apartment.
Oh, wow.
Because my father was so busy. I watched my dad try to control situations, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Christopher sharing his childhood trauma was like, wow. I am aggressive.
Think people misunderstand you?
They don't misunderstand me. I am assertive. I am dominant. I can adjust, but it's kind of like, in my mind, what's the problem?
So I'm not going to lie to you. A part of me thought that maybe Alexis doesn't realize how she comes across. Maybe if she had some reflection, she would want to work on her demeanor, on the way that she presents. No. She has no desire, actually. She's proud of the fact that she's very strong-willed. She uses the word aggressive. I'm not putting this on her. She uses the word aggressive. She's very proud of this. So I'm thinking, okay, I mean, not a lot of people, again, similar to Charlie, are going to want to be breaking down your door to want to deal with that. So if you want to be with Chris as badly as it seems like you do, you might have to just bite the bullet and meet him in the middle. I don't think you should fully relinquish who you are. Like, if you're somebody who, you know, likes to stand your ground, hey, it is what it is. But you can't do that all the time and think that you're going to be in a healthy relationship. That's just not how things work. So you definitely have to meet him somewhere in the middle. But then also, if you're not willing to do that, you're just going to have to accept that the relationship is not going to work out. Now, it's not going to work out regardless because Chris doesn't like her. But still, if you want any chance of things to work, you're going to have to work on yourself. So Jared's sister and Charlie's best friend come to the house and they are both shocked at the new revelations that have come from this relationship.
I've been hiding Tracy from Charlie.
He has a newborn too.
Charlie actually has 3 more children.
What is wrong with you guys? There's no way. Really?
He dropped the one on me, so it's like I'm worse because I kept 3 kids from him.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. These people held it together way better than I ever would have, because the way I would be cackling on the floor. Because what do you mean old boy has a new what? And what do you mean you didn't tell him that you had all these kids? And then as Jared's sister, what do you mean you've been hiding your kid? And she's been hiding 3 extra. This relationship is actually unhinged. I don't understand how they ever thought this would work out with these lies. And we're like, it'd be one thing to say, oh, you know, I wanted to say that I owned a home. I mean, don't lie about anything. But I think something that I would kind of understand is like, oh, I said I own a home, but really I rent the basement. Like, I don't know. I still wouldn't accept that. But at least you're not lying about human beings that came from you. Do either of them really like how deep this is? Especially Charlie, not to be, you know, to go the gender normative way, but like you birthed 3 human beings that you are denouncing for the sake of a relationship. An online one at that, with somebody you had never met before. Okay. So anyways, Chris is like, not Chris, who's this guy? Jared. He's like, oh, well, yeah, she's in La La Land. And I said, well, hold on now. Wait. Don't do that. You lulled her into a false sense of reality. And when she presented you with the information, you made it seem like you were okay with it. That is not her fault. That's on you. You should have told her point blank, hey, listen, that ain't gonna work for me. I don't know. Maybe we could just kick it. We could just have fun. But in terms of long term, I don't see it for us after getting this information. So he's like, yeah, you know, she's kind of stuck in this. No, you put her there. And then they all come together and they talk. And Jared's sister is like, well, why would you think that any guy would be okay with that information? And she's like, I didn't think that. He made me think he was okay with it. And that's where I have to agree with Charlie. Yes, it is absolutely crazy for you to think that somebody would be okay with you not lying about just 1 kid, but a 2nd kid and a 3rd kid. Like, anybody would be taken aback by that. And you already had a kid that they knew of. So going from 1 to 4 is crazy. But he made it seem like he was okay with that. That's not on her. That is fully on him. So Jared's sister, you know, as critical as she was about that, she does feel for her. And Jared does end up apologizing. He did acknowledge that he shouldn't have led her on in that way. He says that they still have to have conversations. The only conversation that's left to have is we're over. Be so for real. Alexis and Chris go on a boxing date. And I was thinking, girl, you really standing 10 toes down to this whole aggression thing.
Alexis know I like boxing, so this made me feel good. Maybe this woman is paying attention. Alexis brings me to a boxing gym, and it's the gym of one of my favorite boxers, Floyd Mayweather. Boxing date is going good. Alexis seemed to be in tune. She's taking instructions from the instructor really well.
Cross, let that go.
Your girlfriend this morning. I want him to know that he does have somebody that's in his corner and will have his back no matter what.
The date actually went really well. Chris liked the fact that Alexis was quite adaptive in this. Adaptive? Y'all know what I'm saying. And she was able to take instruction. Like, she had softened up a lot. She liked the fact that, you know, she could hold her own in the session. She was able to, like, she was like, oh, I didn't even move much. Well, he was barely punching. Okay. And yeah, it went well. He liked the fact that she was taking an interest in his interests. But as we know, this ain't going anywhere. Chris sees this as a jump off. I don't know where he thinks he's going to jump off to. Not many people have a successful career coming off of these shows, you know. Actually, well, that was a different show. That was Ready to Love. But from season 1, that one guy, I think his name was Mike. He ended up being on the show Raising Dion. So some people do have a successful acting career post the show. I don't think that's going to be you, Chris. We can barely believe in this relationship. try again. The episode ends with everybody in the house playing a game, which is always bad news. Somebody's feelings always gets hurt. And so Brittany is asked if she has sexual chemistry or if there's sexual potential between her and Ty. And she's taking a long time to answer.
I don't know.
Just a yes or no.
I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Honestly, the answer is no.
Oh.
Elaborate.
Brittany took forever and a day to respond before she reluctantly said yes.
You were just like, no.
I was answering honestly.
You never let me talk. That's the
Oh,
problem.
I never.
You just
never.
asked me.
Let me know when I can talk, okay? Let me know when I can talk. Because I'm a little boy.
You asshole to me.
Why are you going to say that again? And why are you going to put your fingers in my face?
This is why you always need to stay true to yourself. Okay? This girl is like, I don't know. Girl, just say no. Because you know the answer is no. But no, what does she decide to do? Oh, I'm going to spare his feelings. You know, I don't want him to feel bad. So she says, yeah, she feels like they're sexually compatible. Mans is like, nope. And now who's hurt? She's hurt. Why are you hurt? You know the answer is no for you too. But you wanted to, you know, coddle the man, sugarcoat the situation instead of being true to yourself. That's why you're frustrated in this relationship to begin with. You don't want to be honest. Be honest with yourself and be honest with this man. It's not working out. And now he's like, well, yeah, I mean, we've come this far. Things aren't really progressing. I don't see the potential here between us, which is so valid, absolutely valid. Then they start barking at each other a little bit, and I said, wrap it up now. Because if we're getting loud, we're getting in each other's face, we're pointing finger, it's already toxic. Let's not proceed any further at all. And I've noticed too with Brittany, she tries to present as somebody who's like demure, who's, you know, quiet, even keel. But there's a side of her that when it's triggered, she gets feisty and in a way that could escalate things in a way that it just does not have to go that way. She constantly makes reference to the fact that Ty is a little bit immature. She has those immature traits as well. Absolutely. So the house was already hypothesizing that they would be next to go. I think that that is true. At this point, the only couple that I actually see potential in is Jay and Cinco, but even they have got some things to work on. They're constantly trying to seem like the perfect couple. There's no benefit in that. Be real with each other. And if it doesn't work out, great. You've saved yourself some time. But anyways, that's it for today's episode. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.